everyone, it's me, 5th Rate Duelist, with a 6th rate deck, because I'm kind of mediocre at Yu-Gi-Oh, but that changes now. With my new series, The Road to YCS, where I document my journey to prepare myself to be a competitive player, and for my first Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. I've got a lot to talk about, everyone. I did my first online tournament. I was anxious, I was excited, I was scared, I won, I lost, I drawed, I drewed, I ended in a draw, and so much more. Technically, I did 2 tournaments. The first one was an impromptu tournament for small streamers, and I wasn't really prepared. I just took Pap's deck, and I was faced with Dragoon. And long story short, this happened afterwards. It's okay. I mean, who hasn't cried because of Dragoon? Some of y'all can just hide it a bit more. And yes, maybe it was an overreaction. Did Yugi cry when Kaiba tore up a Blue Eyes White Dragon card that was really important to him? No, he did not. He got up, he transformed into someone that was twice Yugi's size, he lowered his voice, and he beat Kaiba into submission. I think it's really funny that no one commented on those differences until like season 2. I think what really upset me was after the game my opponent said, "Oh, don't worry, next time I'll throw you one. I promise." Like, that wasn't the most patronizing and insulting comment you could make. I always thought I would be happy to meet a real-life Kaiba. Anyway, enough fangirling. I played again later, and this time it was just a casual duel, and I busted out my expensive online deck that I could never afford in real life, Invoked Dogmatika. Here's the deck list here. And I played against Dogmatika Shaddolls. Like, the first game I won with Purgatrio, second game I lost by decking out. It was actually funny because my opponent banished all my Alistairs, and I had 3 face-down cards, and my opponent didn't want to attack because he thought that they were, like, something serious, but actually they were all invocations, which I was hoping he would destroy, so that way I could get my Alistair back. But no, I decked out. In the third game, I won, and the replays will be at the end. I realized I had a lot of training to do, so here's the obligatory training montage. Negate Nadir Servant with Ghost Spell? So I spent 6 hours on New Year's Eve doing remote dueling, and this too.
I feel like I'm smoking marijuana. Did this really work?
I'm about to take another whiff.
Always believe in the art of the cards. Beach Soldier is the turbo, is the best deck. Alistair, best boy.
After losing half of my brain cells after inhaling 6-week-old chemicals from the 99-cent store, I dueled until the clock dropped. I faced Phantom Knights, Burning Abyss, Machina, Drytron, and remote dueling was a really fun experience, but it was difficult when I wasn't familiar with the cards. As a Yu-Gi-Oh player, I do not read, and apparently I also do not listen very well. That made it a challenge. Then I was asked to do a real online tournament. Well, there weren't any prizes, but it was organized on Challenge, and I thought it would be good practice, and I was a little bit anxious, to say the least. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. I can do this. I can do this. I've got to work on that. If you guys have any tips on controlling tournament anxiety, please leave them in the comments. That would be super helpful because I think that's going to be a big barrier for me. Okay, so my first game was against Numeron Eldritch, replays at the end, and I was streaming the game, so you have to be careful. Stream snipers were people who will watch your stream to see what's in your hand, but I was like, this is not really a real tournament, there's no prizes, it should be fine, And, you know, I want this to be like a group experience for my followers. And it was cool until later I was watching the replay and a notification popped up on screen that someone was following me. And it was the guy I was dueling against. And I was like, okay, so thank you for liking my content. That's kind of cool. But on the other hand, you're the worst cheater ever. Like, why would you leave evidence behind that you were stream sniping? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what if there was a dead body that you murdered? You would not go back to the scene of the crime and spray paint your name all over the dead body and be like, oh, that wasn't me. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I think what was really funny is I still ended up beating him because Purgatorio is bae. Thank you so much, three-headed monster man person thing. Oh god, I almost made a Trump joke. Yeah, and then he kind of came on my stream and he started trash talking me. He was like calling me a 5th rate duelist with a 6th rate deck. And I was like, dude, that's my joke. Like, I make that all the time. You can't insult me with a phrase that I say regularly. Like, I feel like when I named myself 5th rate duelist, I was pretty self-aware about the limitations I have in this game. It's like, would you go up to Jade and Yuki and be like acting all smug and be like, oh yeah, well, next time we duel, you better get your game on. It's like, kind of loses its flavor, man. Chill out. And like, if I'm so bad, then it makes you look worse because I beat you. Anyway, next game was against Dogmatika Shaddolls, and the timer ran out as I was pressing the end phase button, so, yeah. Next, I got placed with Dino Infernoid. I don't know, it was kind of a cool combo until he slapped down Mystic Mine, and then I was just like, I hate myself so much. And that game was a draw. And the last match was against Dinos. And it was not going so great until I did every Yu-Gi-Oh player's worst nightmare. Yes, I activated Invocation in a previously impermed zone, and then I rage quit because I was so dead. And also I was very hungry. I did not eat before the tournament began. So that was a big mistake on my part. Dueling is exhausting. I mean, kind of when I was watching the anime and they were like breathing heavily and like almost falling down after doing a couple of duels, I was like, that doesn't make sense. Kind of like,
I never attacked, so you didn't lose the duel.
But I'm too exhausted to finish.
I kind of get it now. Best season, Waking the Dragons! Yeah, yeah, yeah! But I did learn a lot from the tournament. First of all, eat. You gotta eat before a tournament. And I don't mean loading up on grapes, Diet Coke, and Hello Panda snacks you got from Costco. I'm talking about have some real food to sustain you. Number 2, learn the choke points of the deck. One game I lost because I didn't activate Mecha Buzz effect in time because I was saving it, but at the same time, you don't want to activate immediately because I might be trying to bait it out. So I really just have to get more familiar with the choke points. And yeah, if y'all know of any videos on that sort of thing, I think that would be really helpful. Number 3, don't rage quit. Like, I'm telling you, that game where I rage quit, I was like, there's no freaking way I could win. I watched the replay. He didn't have anything in his hand. He had no dinosaurs in his hand. And, yeah, it could have been either person's game. And I think most importantly, have fun. I think I was starting to get all focused on winning. I stopped having fun. I started to get, irritated. I started to just become someone else, and I don't like that. I never set a goal that I would top. That's not the priority. I think the priority is getting better and enjoying the ride, like enjoying the journey. So I really got to be mindful about that, because I can get competitive. So that's just something to look out for. If you want to watch the whole tournament, I've clipped it on my Twitch and the link is below. I don't know if it only lasts for 2 weeks or if it lasts longer. So if you're interested, probably check that out now. And yeah, here are just a couple of replays I thought were really good. Okay, so I activate Magical Meltdown and start getting my plays going. Set up Invocation, go with Mechaba, of course, because I didn't have much going on, and then I shuffled it back into the deck and I set a Call by the Grave. I knew he had a lot of back row, so I was glad that I drew Harpy's Feather Duster, and I went ahead and activated it right away. Unfortunately, he did take my Salamangreat card, but I had another Alistair. I was not able to fuse it with anything though, so that was kind of unfortunate. I think maybe leaving myself... I think what I wanted to do was I didn't summon anything because I didn't want to summon Purgatrio just yet. I wanted to wait to see what he was going to do. And so, yeah, I negated that Apgalone. Just because I figured he probably has something going on. And then I was able to summon Alistair again. There's that invocation I decided not to use. I saved it. And I think that was a really good call. And then I activated Nazir Servant. But unfortunately, I didn't realize that that trap is not affected by monster effects. But it was not a big deal. And I always shuffle... Well, I usually shuffle people's cards back into their hand. Because I think destroying their hand is something really, really powerful. And then I get to look at their hand too. So that was that replay. Okay, so let's see what's so cool about this. So I was going against Dinos. And I don't know, I'm kind of terrified of Dinos if it comes down to it. And this was a real rough match because I didn't have any Shaddolls that I could summon because Beast is a level 5. I didn't have any hand traps, not that those would necessarily do very much against this Dino guy. So yeah, I was facing a pretty formidable board. I went ahead and impermed the Logia just so that way I could activate monster effects. I was less afraid of UCT versus the monster effect one. So I was able to make Mechaba, but I'm frustrated because I cannot get a Shaddoll in the grave. So I got rid of Logia, and then he activates Dark Ruler no more. Unfortunately, Mechaba's my only real defense right now, so I'm kind of in a tough spot. And so, because he activated Dark Ruler no more, it wouldn't have caused any battle damage, so that's why he didn't attack. So I go ahead and summon my Alistair and get my Invocation to get Ogodes. And went ahead and destroyed that UCT and got my card back. And then, let's see, next, he summons another one of whatever those Oviraptors, and he starts getting his combo going, destroying cards, and he had to get rid of his Secure Gardener because it was preventing him from Link summoning. And so he again took my Fire Monster. So I was kind of suspicious of this. I was like, are these really the best plays you can do? But I really needed a Shaddol on the frickin' field, so I tribute summoned for my Shaddol Beast. And then I was able to use Schism to get my plays going. So that one was really blocking me. It's like, how do you brick and only draw your beast? I don't know how that works out. So then he activates Mystic Mine. And I apologize that this video is going to be like 5 times as long as it would have if it weren't for that. So I can't do anything. And then he banishes my Schism, unfortunately. So I'm kind of left waiting for something to do. I don't have any outs to Mystic Mine. I don't main deck any of them. And I don't think I sided any Cosmic Cyclones or anything into the grave. So yeah, I got rid of my board. And I've got some Lancias, and I'm kind of wondering what's going on because it's like, I thought this was a dinosaur deck, and now it has like all these other freaking cards that I do not recognize. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of discarding cards. I was hoping it would activate the effect, but apparently it doesn't activate the effect, so Yeah. I chained Lancia so that way they can't banish. And I did not destroy the monster because I wanted Mystic Mine destroyed. So that one was kind of irritating. So I activate my Shaddolls fusion in order to make construct and start triggering events. So I decided to pop the face down card because I didn't know what it was. And I felt like I could handle the other cards. And then I started summoning more monsters. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I can OTK because at this point time was called and the guy said that we had to finish the game as soon as we could. So there's me summoning whatever monsters I could. And I'm pumping up my Purgatrio as much as possible, and I did win that game. Okay, so I thought that this was a good match. It was against Dinos again. So unfortunately I didn't have my invocation in hand. And then he asked my Shaddolls fusion, and that one hurt. So that one hurt a lot. This one I was playing my Invoked Shaddolls deck, but I'm trying out the trap because you can activate your Shaddolls monsters in the grave. I'm sorry, not in the grave, on your opponent's turn. So thankfully he actually discarded and missed, so that way I could just go ahead and banish it with my aerial. And I wasn't so scared that he was gonna like take over. So there goes my Alistair. If he gets negated, I'll just bring him back. And then I went ahead and just attacked with what I had. I was glad I had a Mechaba, but I was very scared of when to use it. And here is when I should have used it, because he didn't have much in his hand, obviously, but I was waiting. And by the time it got to Logia, I couldn't do anything about it. And I ended up just losing the game. So that was kind of sad. Oh, I didn't lose this turn. Sorry, spoiler alert. But I lost. So yeah, I just conceded at that point. So I think that was an example where I definitely could have. I think if I banished that Oviraptor, I negated and banished, I think I would have possibly won. So that was kind of unfortunate. So yeah. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, and comment with what you think. Alright, thank you. Bye.